Genesis chapter 6, verse 13. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Exodus chapter 25, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they may bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, he shall take my offering. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I shewed thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall he make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. As religious aggression subverts the liberties of our nation, those who would stand for freedom of conscience shall be placed in unfavorable positions. For their own sake, they should, while they have opportunity, become intelligent in regard to disease, its causes, prevention, and cure. And those who do this will find a field of labor anywhere. There will be suffering ones, plenty of them, who will need help, not only among those of our own faith, but largely among those who knew not the truth. God has qualified his people to enlighten the world. He has entrusted them with faculties by which they are to extend his work until it shall encircle the globe. In all parts of the earth, they are to establish sanitariums or better living centers, schools, publishing houses, and kindred facilities for the accomplishment of his work. The closing message of the gospel is to be carried to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. In foreign countries, many enterprises for the advancement of this message must yet be begun and carried forward. The opening of hygienic restaurants and treatment rooms and the establishment of sanitarium or better living centers for the care of the sick and the suffering is just as necessary in Europe as in America. In many lands, medical missions are to be established to act as God's helping hand in ministering to the afflicted. In every city where the truth is proclaimed, churches are to be raised up. In some large cities, there must be churches in various parts of the city. In some places, meeting houses will be offered for sale and at reasonable rates, which can be purchased advantageously. In some important places, there will be offered for sale properties that are specially suitable for sanitarium work or better living centers. The advantages of these should be carefully considered. And there is also the location of workers that is mentioned, which are basically to be built in retired location so far as possible. And these locations should be selected a little out from the noisy cities. And those who labor in the large cities need special advantages that they may not be called to sacrifice life or health unnecessary. The terrible disasters that are befalling great cities ought to arouse us to intense activity in giving the warning message to the people in these congested centers of population while we still have an opportunity. The most favorable time for the presentation of our message in the cities has passed by. Sin and wickedness are rapidly increasing, and now we shall have to redeem the time by laboring all the more earnestly. By faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. While Noah was giving his warning message to the world, his works testified of his sincerity. It was thus that his faith was perfected and made evident. He gave the world an example of believing just what God says. All that he possessed, he invested in the ark. As he began to construct that immense boat on dry ground, multitudes came from every direction to see the strange sight and to hear the earnest, fervent words of the singular preacher. Every blow struck upon the ark was a witness to the people. In his book, Another Ark to Build, Elder Frazee has something to say about building an ark. Oh, let us concentrate on getting the ark built, even if it takes everything we have. And let's put all the parts together according to the plan. If you want to help, God needs you. Just tell him, I want to help build the ark. And the only thing that I am most concerned about is not what happens to me, what I get out of it, but what happens to the ark and the people who are going to find refuge in it in a little while. And if you say that and you will do that, you may find, as Noah did, that the ark you built to save others will be the ark that God will use to carry you and your family safely through the storm. This book, written in the 1970, what is mentioned in here actually is the same as was mentioned to the spirit of prophecy. To build an ark by building better living centers in the country and restaurant and health center in the city in order to reach the people just before the time of the end. Genesis chapter 6 verse 14, make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. Exodus chapter 25 verse 10, and they shall make an ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. It's so precise how to build. We have right now, since 1844, we are under the great day of atonement, receiving the latter rain, being sealed, being purified, in order to have a glorified mind, and when Christ returns, a glorified body. This is the time of the ark right now, where our great high priest is doing the final atonement, the final intercession in the sanctuary above. In the typical service, only those who had come before God with confession and repentance, and whose sins through the blood of the sin offering were transferred to the sanctuary, had a part in the service of the Day of Atonement. So, in the great day of final atonement and investigative judgment, the only cases considered are those of the prophets, people of God. The judgment of the wicked is a distinct and separate work and take place at a later period. Judgment must begin at the house of God, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel? So the judgment of the wicked is a separate work and takes place at a later period. All who received or have received the light upon these subjects are to bear testimony of the great truth which God has committed to them. The sanctuary in heaven is the very center of Christ's work in behalf of man. It concerns every soul living upon the earth. It opens to view the plan of redemption, bringing us down to the very close of time and revealing the triumphant issue of the contest between righteousness and sin. It is of the utmost importance that all should thoroughly investigate these subjects and be able to give an answer to everyone that asks them a reason of the hope that is in them. Exodus chapter 36 verse 3. And they received of Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary to make it withal. And they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning. And they spake unto Moses, saying, the people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which the Lord commanded to make. For the stuff they had was sufficient for all the work to make it, and too much. Praying that this day will come when we have more than enough and sufficient for all the work to make it, and too much. The work in the cities is the essential work for this time and is now to be taken hold in faith. We are told in Medical Ministry, page 331, when the cities are worked as God would have them, the result would be setting in operation of a mighty movement such as we have not yet witnessed. May the Lord give wisdom to our brethren that they may know how to carry forward the work in harmony with His will. With mighty power, the cry is to be sounded in our large centers of population. Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. And then the text proceed, the writer proceed in telling us that we have to engage in personal medical missionary and bring in what we mentioned, the restaurant and the Better Living Center. And in 144,000teachers.org, in the menu movement, we have actually developed strategic planning for Way of Life Health Center. In this case, this one was written 220-225 when we started the center in Lusaka, Zambia in Africa. And this strategic planning has been followed now, where we have prepared the values, vision, goal, mission of the Way of Life Health Center, along with a transition proposal in order to achieve it. And this has been achieved. The Way of Life School of Health and Natural Remedy in Lusaka, Zambia, and now other places have been raised. I spare you the reading right now because it's a long manuscript, but you can find it in the movement, in the section movement, in 144,000teachers.org, where other strategic planning have been prepared, and in order to give other countries to do the same. The pattern is the same. Just like Moses and just like Noah were given a special pattern to follow, we have a pattern to follow to establish these centers throughout the world at this time of Earth history. Many may think that this is no time, we don't have the time, so I invite you to look at section 12, Restoration Movement, Strategic Planning, and this is in the 144,000teachers.org, where we invite you to follow these patterns and we will have success. And again, as we have said, it needs definitely to be generous, be able to bring in all the offering that are necessary so that we can finish this work in righteousness. And for the stuff that we have, it's not sufficient right now to do so, but we pray that someday soon, as we encourage you to bring, especially on this Feast of Tabernacle, bring all your offering, that there will be more than enough to build another ark. And that ark, my friend, is the medical missionary work, and it's made up of, in the cities, the health center and the small vegan restaurant, and in the country, another health center and residence for the workers and the guests. May the Lord bless you as you bring much more than enough for the service of the work which the Lord commanded us to make and to do at this time. May the Lord greatly bless you as you open your heart to participate in this mighty work. This is not begging of you, it's giving you an opportunity to do His mighty work at this time. And who is to say that you are not called at this time, just like Esther, to accomplish this work in His name? May the Lord bless you.